Hey everybody, it's Kent with KG's Books. I figured I'd do a quick unboxing video. If you don't know, I'm eBay seller Animal Vet 52. Probably almost all of these books that I'm showing off this morning will be up on my eBay page in the next maybe 2 to 3 weeks. Usually try to get this stuff listed as soon as possible. Let's see what we got. Box number 1, wrapped nice and carefully. Oh, we got some great Louisa May Alcott books. These were rebound at some point, but they are some pretty early editions. Let's see, we got 8 Cousins by Louisa May Alcott, 1888, again with nice modern cloth bindings, and not modern. It's not 1888 binding, maybe early 1900s. These were rebound nicely. We got there's Little Men. Again, pretty decent cloth bindings. Early editions. 1872 copy of Little Men by Louisa May Alcott. Pretty nice condition. There's the binder mark right there. William Von Heel, Job and Library Bookbinder in Brooklyn, New York. Very cool. There's part 1 of Little Women. Let's see if I can find part 2. Okay. Let's see. Silver Pitchers and Independence, a Centennial Love Story by Louisa May Alcott. Looks like 1889 on that one. Oh, come on. Here we go. Packed very securely. Life and Journals. Louisa May Alcott, Her Life and Journals, edited by Edna D. Cheney, 1890. Show you the frontispiece illustration on this one with the facsimile signature. Okay, we got Joe's Boys. I swear Little Women is coming up in this box. Joe's Boys and How They Turned Out, a sequel to Little Men by Louisa May Alcott, 1887. Again, pretty great condition. Under the Lilacs. Okay, Little Women. Might be one of the last couple ones in this box to show you, but they are coming up, I swear. Under the Lilacs by Louisa May Alcott, illustrated, 1890. So again, it looks like 1870s to 1890s for these. Okay, we got A Rose in Bloom. There we go. Rose in Bloom, which is a sequel to 8 Cousins. Again, 1890. All right, and last but certainly not least, we have the 2-volume set of Little Women. Again, pretty nice cloth bindings. Little Women, or Meg, Joe, Beth, and Amy, Part 1, Louisa May Alcott, 1871. I think the first edition was a couple years before that. Again, not perfect condition. There's some paper repairs and some staining, but overall pretty decent. A lot of the cloth bindings from the 1870s of Little Women, a lot of them you'll find are pretty beat up. And then Part 2, also published in 1871. Part 1, 1871. Yep, both 1871. So great, pretty early. Nice little 2-volume set of Little Women. Again, almost all of these will be up on my eBay page probably in the next 3 weeks for sure. Unless they get piled in the storage room and disappear for a couple months at a time. Try to be pretty efficient, but you never know. Also takes this for me to buy 10 boxes of books locally, and that distracts me for a while. Otherwise, most of these should be listed very quickly. Matter of fact, I will work on listing some of them today, though I do schedule my listings out. I think I'm 4 or 5 days ahead. That way, if I take a day off of listing, I can still have something. Some eBay listings that get started and some that end. All right, here's a beautiful leather copy of Leaves of Grass. Man, that's a nice one. Holy buckets. Really, really fantastic. I would say near fine condition. Beautiful binding. See if there's a binding mark. There we go. It looks like it was bound by Maurin. Maurin. Not exactly sure of that. And again, Leaves of Grass by Walt Whitman, illustrated by Rockwell Kent. This is just a heritage repress, just a kind of a cheap book if it didn't have the fancy binding. But with a beautiful leather binding, that kind of knocks it up a few $100s. Otherwise, it'd probably be like a, I don't know, maybe a $10 or $15 book. But you spend a few $100s getting it nicely bound, and turns into something special. Someone's gonna love that one. All right, we got a few copies of Alice in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass, it looks like. Nothing too expensive, but if you want a nice affordable copy of Alice, if you don't want to spend $50 or $100, these might be closer to the $15 to $25 range. Alice with a little bit beat up dust jacket, but the book's all right underneath. Let's see if there's a date on this one. Alice in Wonderland by Lewis Carroll, illustrated by John Tenniel. No date. I would guess maybe 1930s, 1940s, something like that. And then this one's also 1940s, just Through the Looking Glass. See if it'll focus. There we go. Nicely illustrated copy of Through the Looking Glass. Oh, someone decided to do a little coloring and scribbling, it looks like. That happens on these children's books. But again, if you don't want to pay crazy money for a nice copy, I just sold a nice 2-volume set of Alice and Through the Looking Glass on my YouTube channel yesterday. That was $300. These came from Barrel Room Rare Books. You can find them on eBay. I've been buying stuff from them and selling them stuff for years. I think they have over 7,000 listings, so they have quite an extensive collection of books for sale on their eBay page. I'm not sure if they're on any of the other social medias. Barrel Room Rare Books. Let's see what we got. We have some odd volumes of Percy Anecdotes. This was from a 20-volume set, but I think there's 8 volumes here, it looks like. So we got Eloquence and Patriotism, Humanity and Beneficence, Science and Literature, Fashion and Pastimes. So again, I think these are from the 1820s. Probably 1822, 1823, right around there. Let's see. Oh, not dated, but let's see. Maybe the frontispiece is dated. Nope, I don't think so, but definitely from the 1820s. So here, I'll show you. So the fashion, got a chapter on whiskers, got a chapter on pins and the exact cut, royal colors, generals in periwigs, bachelor's buttons, coaches, buckles, everything you need to know about buckles, medical costume, court mourning and antique assembly, liveries and the sword, the Emperor Paul of Russia, the Quakers, fashionable rivals, jewels. So you get the point. They're just a compilation of different stories and information about different topics. Here we have hospitality and conviviality, the pulpit and integrity, heroism and war, and justice and crime. So again, they're just compilations of different stories and stuff on different topics. Again, from the 1820s. About 200 years old. On to the next one. Let's see what we got. Again, almost all of these will be up for auction on my eBay page. I do 99-cent start bids and no reserves. Let the market decide what everything's worth. Once again. And if you don't know, I am eBay seller Animal Vet 52. I think you can find a link on my YouTube, my eBay. I think you can find the eBay link on my YouTube, on my Instagram, on my Facebook, hopefully. Okay, this one is very tightly glued shut. There we go. We made it. Extra secure. Thank you to the UPS for providing the shipping supplies. We appreciate you. Looks like a leather copy of Dr. Chase's recipes. It's a little bit banged up, but it's old. It's very old, so I guess we can be a little forgiving. This is Dr. Chase's recipes, or Information for Everyone, an invaluable collection of about 800 practical recipes for merchants, grocers, saloon keepers, physicians, druggists, tanners, shoemakers, harness makers, painters, jewelers, blacksmiths, tinners, gunsmiths, farriers, barbers, bakers, dyers, renovators, farmers, and families generally, by A.W. Chase, 1866. I think the first edition was just, 2 or 3 years before that. Again, not the prettiest of condition books, but it is a 200-year-old cookbook, so that's pretty cool. Not quite 200, 170 years old cookbook. There's a huge section on medical stuff, and then obviously you have a lot of stuff on farmers and veterinary stuff, and then you got the big baking and cooking. You got stuff for barbers. You got the cosmetics and the hair dyes and the perfumes and stuff like that. Dyeing, metalwork, woodwork, fixing guns, just all kinds of really cool stuff. And I like the old leather ones because they got these little embossed bottles. Let's see, what does that one say? That one sells alternatives. You got the bitters, you have the cough, and you have the syrup. Syrup and the cough. Very cool. So I love the old leather bindings. And again, it's an 1867 cookbook, so it's just cool to have in any condition. All right, looks like we got 2 books by Hubert Howe Bancroft. This is Native Races Volume 1. That contains the Wild Tribes volume. This is the fancy deluxe of the fanciest of the leather bindings. It came in a tan leather, the black leather, and then there was a cloth option. I'm trying to think if there was a different leather volume or leather option for these as well, but this is the fancy deluxe. Nicest of the bindings possible. Native Races, Volume 1, Wild Tribes, 1886. Oh, it looks like we have a folding map there showing the area of the wild tribes up there in the western part of the country. Maybe I'll show you some of the contents pages quick if you want to know what's in these. And again, these will all be up on eBay, so you'll have better pictures if you want to see a little bit better what kind of information you can find in these books. I think the complete Hubert Howe Bancroft set was about 40 volumes. Then the Native Races, I think, is 5 volumes in that 40 volumes. But still, each of the volumes are interesting in their own. Again, this is Native Races, Volume 5, Primitive History. Just going to show you that's 1886 as well. I'm just going to show you the contents pages if you want to pause that and see exactly what information is in this volume. Alright, again, looks like we got a map. Some of them have other little in-text maps as well throughout them. But again, beautiful book on Native culture. Primitive history, I guess, on that one. Oh, we got a pair of shoes. What brand? Ooh, New Balances. Okay. Excellent. Got my New Balances. Just what I was looking for. Just kidding. It's books. Speaking of new shoes, I got today is, what is today? Friday. Today's Friday. On Sunday, me and my brother are going up to Minocqua, Wisconsin. We're doing a half marathon, so wish me luck. Not sure exactly how that's going to go. I've been running I did a lot of 6-mile runs this summer. Did a couple 8-mile runs, couple 10-mile runs. Actually, earlier this week I did a 10-mile run. And I was feeling all right after that. So, I mean, I'll definitely finish the half. I'm not going to feel great afterwards. I'm not the fastest person in the world. My goal is a 9.5-minute average. That might be a little ambitious. I'm really not that fast. I've gained a lot of weight the last few years, so gotta take it a little slow. All right, looks like we got some great Lakeside classics. Some of the red ones, so I think these are from the 1930s and 1940s. I think do I have any of these on eBay right now? I might have some on eBay right now if you want to go check. I think I have some of the red ones for sale. If you're watching this video right now. The personal narrative of James O. Patty of Kentucky, 1930. This was a yearly, the Lakeside Press put out a book every year around Christmas time. And they were almost most of them, 90-some% of them were related to American history. See, here's a list right there. Actually, so the first one was in 1903, the autobiography of Benjamin Franklin. The first ones were actually a black cloth, or a dark gray or a black cloth. And those go for a few $100s a piece. The red ones bring, 20 to 50-ish. And then the more modern ones, I don't know if they're still putting one out every year, but there was definitely some that were published in the 90s and early 2000s. The Truth About Geronimo, that one is 1951. And again, most of them are American history related. Very interesting topics. Kit Carson's autobiography, 1935. Pretty nice condition. Tiny little bit of cover wear, but those are nice, clean copies. Growing Up with Southern Illinois, 1820 to 1861, from the memoirs of Daniel Harmon Brush, 1944. Narratives and Adventures of Zenas Leonard, written by himself, 1934. Again, nice little simple, nice little tri-folding map in the front. And again, Christmas 1934, the Lakeside Press, R.R. Donnelly and Sons Company, Chicago. 40 Years a Fur Trader. "40 Years a Fur Trader on the Upper Missouri, the personal narratives of Charles Larpenteur 1833 to 1872. Again, that one was published in 1933. And last one, War on the Detroit. Again, really nice clean copies. I think the ones I sold a couple months ago weren't quite this nice. They had some more staining and wear. War on the Detroit, The Chronicles of Thomas Verscheers de Bookerville, and The Capitulation by an Ohio volunteer, 1940. Those always do well for me. I've been buying and selling Lakeside Classics for years. And actually, occasionally, if you go on eBay, you can find the complete set of, I don't know, 100-some volumes. That will probably cost you $3,000 to $5,000, depending how ambitious the bookseller is. All right, we got some Bureau of Ethnology books. Bunch of great titles here. Let's open them up. I'll show you the title pages. The Maya Indians of Southern Yucatan and Northern British Honduras by Thomas W.F. Gann, 1918. Oh, looks like this one is illustrated as well. Got some nice color plates. The Physiography of the Rio Grande Valley, New Mexico in relation to Pueblo culture by Edgar Lee Hewitt, Junius Henderson, and Wilfred Williams Robbins, 1913. Again, great titles they put out back then. Tuberculosis Among Certain Indian Tribes of the U.S. by Alice Herdlick, 1909. The Choctaw of Bayou Lacombe, St. Tammany Parish, Louisiana by David I. Bushnell, 1909. Oh, and it is illustrated. I know some of these, especially some of them from the 1890s, they have color plates that can be very, very valuable. Antiquities of the Mesa Verde National Park, Cliff Palace by Jesse Walter Fuchs, 1911. Again, nicely illustrated. Archaeological Explorations in Northeastern Arizona by Alfred Vincent Kidder and Samuel J. Guernsey, 1919. Again, lots of great illustrations of art in different locations, people. Cotonia Tales by Franz Boas, 1918. Looks like that one is mostly text. But cool book on native language, nonetheless. Let's see, where's the title page? There we go. Preliminary Reports on a Visit to the Navajo National Monument, Arizona by Jesse Walter Fuchs, 1911. Again, these are all part of the Smithsonian Institution, Bureau of American Ethnology. Again, nicely illustrated. All right, on to the next box. Here we go. What do we got? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 more boxes. All right, we got 3 volumes of Hubert Howe Bancroft. I think this is from like an 8 or 10 volume set. So again, incomplete. I don't mind buying odd volumes and then selling odd volumes. You know, if you just wanted. So this is the History of the Colonization of the U.S. Volume 3, or just the History of the U.S. Volume 3. They had 2 different title pages in this set. Kind of a weird thing. So it looks like this one covers really early American history. We have France Contends for the Fishery and the Great West, the Aborigines east of the Mississippi, colonies of France and England, English encroachments on the colonial monopolies of Spain. So you're talking like 1600s, maybe early 1700s. So kind of earlier. Oh, there we go. There's an illustration of Marquette. A few of those volumes have maps. And again, I do especially well if there's any volumes related to the American Revolutionary era or colonial period as well. Those always seem to do really well. Looks like we got volume 2 up next. Again, 1852, volume 2. Massachusetts and St. Charles II. Oh, uncut pages. That means this book has never been read. What do we got? Shaftesbury and Locke legislate for Carolinas, the colonies of the Chesapeake Bay, New Netherlands, and the people called Quakers in the U.S. James II consulates the northern colonies and the results thus far. So again, early, probably mostly 1600s American history in that one. Here we got volume 5. Now we're getting into, looks like post-French Indian War into the Revolutionary War era. I guess right pre-revolution. We got 1760s. Got the repeal of the Stamp Act. Assuming the Boston Tea Party is in this one. Let's see if there's any maps. Nope, no maps. But still, great book. 1852 U.S. book on American history. Pre-Revolutionary War era. Dang, some people do such a good job packaging. Thank you to whoever sold me this and packaged it so securely. You did a very good job. Plus, free bubble wrap for me to reuse. I always appreciate it. I did have to buy some bubble wrap when I had that huge collection in on consignment. But otherwise, for the most part, I can get by with reusing bubble wrap and newspaper and stuff and don't have to spend money on shipping supplies. So this is a partial set of the works of Teddy Roosevelt, addresses and messages, and Winning of the West, Volume 2. Again, really pretty bindings. I think Winning of the West, I started listing some new buy it nows. I think I'm up to like 10 of them on my eBay page. So I think Winning of the West I might put up as a buy it now, and then the rest I will auction off. But if you want to make me an offer, sometimes my prices can be flexible. The Winning of the West by Teddy Roosevelt, Volume 2, 1909. I do believe this is part of the 4-volume set, and I think they're all here. We have Hunting Trips of a Ranchman, and again, these are pretty bindings. And again, a complete Teddy Roosevelt set in this binding in this condition would be probably well over $1,000. Okay, Winning of the West, Volume 3. We have Volume 2. We're looking for 1 and 4. Thank you for supporting my small business. Yes, I do buy books for many other booksellers on eBay. Hope they appreciate me. Some of them I've been buying from for years, and some of them have been buying from me for years. The Wilderness Hunter. Winning of the West, Volume 4. So I think we're just waiting for Winning of the West, Volume 1. Let's hope it's in here. American Ideals. Winning of the West, Volume 1. There we go. We got them all. Excellent. And Naval War of 1812. Again, really great. Teddy Roosevelt. Set of books. Partial set. Alright, I think these came from my friend Phil. He's the book peddler on eBay and YouTube and whatnot. These were from his last Whatnot show. Let's see, there's a little big book, Blaze Brandon, and with the Foreign Legion. Again, little big book, published by the Racine Company, I believe. Or the Whitman Company in Racine. There you go. All right, we got Flint Roper and the Six Sons Showdown. I think these are all 1930s, 1940s. Let's see, 1941 on that one. Oh, next we got Tom Mix and the Horde of Montezuma. That one's really nice condition. Really nice, clean copy there. I know collectors of these are very particular about the condition. Obviously, they want the nicest condition possible, and it can be kind of a beat up copy. Could be a few bucks up to $100 plus for the cleanest copy ever. We got Tim Tyler's Luck and the Plot of the Exiled King, which I guess that's any, if you're dealing in old leather books or comic books, I suppose, are very similar as well. People want the cleanest one possible. Dan Dunn, Secret Operative 48. Very spooky. Jack Armstrong and the Mystery of the Iron Key. Looks like 2 Winnie the Pooh books. When We Were Young by A.A. Milne. Show you the year on that one. Let's see, looks like 1950. Nice clean copy. And Winnie the Pooh, another really nice clean copy. That one's also 1950. I don't get too many Winnie the Pooh books. I suppose I should look for more of them. I know they're hot sellers. Whoa, double box. This one must have been a pricey one. There we go. We're almost there. Almost there. All right, we made it. A big, beautiful leather Bible. I always do really well with these. I think actually, so I'm going to post this tonight or this morning. I think I have a really, really nice leather Bible ending tonight. And then I got a bunch of smaller leather Bibles, not the fancy fine bindings like this one. Tons of them ending over the next couple weeks here. And again, this one will probably be listed. I might list this one today. It's nice and clean, doesn't need cleaned up or anything. Really beautiful binding on that one. And again, nice clean condition. A little bit of scuffs, but it looks like the binding's nice and tight. On that one, let's open our own up. See what we got for a date on this one. The New Devotional and Practical Pictorial Family Bible, containing the Old and New Testaments, Apocrypha, Concordance, and Psalms. Over 1,000 illustrations. Looks like that one's copyright 18. I hate when they do that. So many of these, the copyright date doesn't come in clear, so it looks like 1870. I don't know what the heck that last number is. Maybe a 9, maybe a 0, maybe a 3. 1870s, shall we say. That's easy enough, I guess, for people. But still, it'd be nice if I could say it was copyright 1873 or something like that. And again, the front of these usually have like a Bible dictionary with hundreds of illustrations. And then they usually have plates in the text as well. I'm not seeing too many plates in this one. Oh, this one has the family history. I can show you that quick. Looks like we got Francis Cushman, born 1859, and George Cushman, 1863. Let me see if I can find the marriage. There we go. We got the marriage license. April 12th, 1857, Mr. Levi Cushman married Miss Rachel Corliss in New Gloucester. And then later, John Edward Warren married Francis J. Cushman, who was born in, I think, 1857 or 1863. And then in Portland in 1885, George Cushman married Sophronia Allen. And then William Cushman married Bernier Gaths. Can't quite read that, but I love when they have the family histories. Pretty cool. And I'll show you. Looks like Bertha Warren was born 1884. Levi Cushman, he was born 1886. And William Cushman was born 1890. And then sadly we go down to the deaths. There we got the New Testament. Looks like here's the Bible dictionary. Usually the Bible dictionary is in the front of these Bibles. That's very interesting that it's towards the back. All right, but really beautiful binding. I like that one. Very beautiful details. That one, usually Bibles like that bring $200 to $400. I mean, I've sold them for as much as $1,000, probably as little as $150, depending what the bidders are looking for on that day. That one, I would guess, would bring probably $250 to $350. But you never know. Hope I'm not disappointed. I think a minimum it'll bring $200. And actually, Bibles are some of the best-selling items for me. They get the most views, most watchers. I think the one that's ending tonight has over 50 watchers, so that's pretty cool. Oh, I'll show you where this one came from. So just tossing the business card away. Booking 33, I think you can find them on Instagram. Jessica, I think, is her name. She buys books, collections, libraries. You can give her a call for free consultations and fair offers paid in cash. She pays cash for books. That's great. I forget where she's out of. But check out Booking 33 on Instagram and eBay. These I bought on eBay. But I'm pretty sure she's on Instagram as well. All right. These are wrapped securely like Fort Knox. I think these would survive at least 100 years in the wilderness and still be fine. Wow, how neat is that? Look at that. Very fancy. Got the bubble wrap and the beautiful paper underneath. that is service. All right, so these are Andrew Lang fairy tales that, or fairy books that were rebound at some point. Got the yellow fairy book here, little buggers. The yellow fairy book edited by Andrew Lang. I don't think these were dated. I would guess early 1900s. And they're nicely illustrated as well. Someone spent a lot of money putting nice fancy leather bindings on those. Again, then we got the green fairy book. Oh, no title page on that. Oh, no, there it is. Found it. The green fairy book. Again, this is kind of a cheaper quality paper, so it's great that they survived so nicely. I mean, really clean. I think a lot of these that you'd find, if they hadn't been rebound, I'm sure the bindings were probably pretty rough, but the paper survived great. Someone really cared for these books. And finally, we got the red fairy book. Tip you up a little bit. The red fairy book. Again, nicely illustrated book of fairy tales. I would guess early 1900s on those three. All right, 3 more boxes and we are done. Can get on with my day. Honestly, I'll probably list a bunch of these today, but they won't be scheduled to start for maybe 4 or 5 more days. Looks like we have History of English Literature and the concise Cambridge History of English Literature. Looks like 1937, 1942 with fancy leather bindings. Honestly, if they didn't have leather bindings, they wouldn't be valuable at all, but with leather bindings, they're kind of neat. Actually, I think C.S. Lewis wrote one of the books in that kind of English literature. Essays of Elia and on reading Shakespeare. Very exciting if you're a big fan of English literature. Looks like we got Matthew Arnold and Astoria by Washington Irving. A couple cloth books. All right, 2 more boxes after this. What do we got? We have Physiography by Huxley and The Pageant of Greece. So just cool history of Greece. Actually, I think I have a copy of this on eBay right now. 1930s. 1945. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I have a different copy of this on eBay right now as we speak. Man, everyone has packaged things so good today. Sometimes people just chuck a book in a shoebox without any wrapping or other packing material. They just throw them in a box loosely. So hopefully I'm not jinxing that last box. But everyone has done an excellent job packaging these. History of architecture continued. So these are ICS reference libraries. They're kind of like college textbooks related to industry and manufacturing and metalwork and woodwork and plumbing and heating. Let's see, we got building, stone, brickwork, masonry, lighting fixtures, and architectural designs. And again, these books all are highly illustrated, tons and tons of great illustrations. We're on to the lighting section. Very cool. Check it out. Do you know how much that lamp would probably cost you in today's market? I don't know how many thousands of dollars. There, we got the masonry. Very nice. Actually, I just sold some leather ones of these last night. One's going to, I think, the UK or somewhere in Europe. Building superintendents, specifications, estimatings, contracts, and permits. Painting, interior decoration, and the history of architecture. This is a cool one for any kind of interior designer. I think you would love this book. Yep, definitely. Interior designers would love to have that book. So if you have any interior designer friends, tell them to check out my eBay page. Pen and ink, watercolor rendering, drawing from nature, cast and the figure. Again, cool artist book, how to draw and paint. Very cool, like that one. Masonry, carpentry, joinery, and the steel square. Again, if you're into woodworking and construction and home building. And again, hundreds of illustrations in all these books. Plumbing, heating, and ventilation. For your plumbing and heating, your HVAC friends. You would love that one. And last we have mathematics, wiring and bell work, and architectural engineering. All right, the last box. Looks like these are packaged nice and securely. I don't know, where do people get this weird crap from? This cardboard stuff. I don't like it. It's very strange. Which it works. It takes up the space in the box to make it so the books aren't shifting around, but I just think it's weird. This video is sponsored by eBay. My life is sponsored by eBay. They definitely pay my bills. Well, they don't. My customers do. But I am grateful for eBay. I know it's kind of a pain selling online. I know a lot of sellers are kind of fed up with fees and different stuff, but wow, this one is nice and clean. Well, maybe the hinges are a little bit split, but the covers are pretty nice. The U.S. Secret Service in the Late War. Cool Civil War book on the Secret Service. And someone paid $5 for that darn thing? Are they nuts? Man, that was cheap. I paid more than $5 for it. Usually I like to take stickers off or any markings inside the covers. I think this one's 1889 or 1890. The U.S. Secret Service in the Late War, comprising the author's introduction to the leading men at Washington with the origin and organization of the U.S. Secret Service Bureau and a graphic history of rich and exciting experiences North and South by General Lafayette C. Baker. There's Mr. Baker himself. see if I can find the copyright date. Copyright 1890. And this one actually, it has some cool illustrations and some color illustrations as well. The poor woman seeking her boy. Capture a rebel blockade runner. Again, tight binding, but the hinges are split. Pretty common with this book. It wasn't the highest of quality bindings. Actually, I used to sell copies of that all the time, but I think it's probably been, I don't know how many years since I've had one of those. I guess maybe I'm just not looking for it hard enough, but I know they're out there. And I've seen them sell as cheap as $20 or $30 for a beat up copy, and I've seen them bring $300, $400, $500 for a really nice one. Lincoln and Men of War Times by McClure. Lincoln and Men of War Times by A.K. McClure, 1892. Again, tight binding, but the hinges are splitting. It happens. Bullet and Shell. That's a pretty nice, respectable copy. A little bit of wear and tear, but not bad. Bullet and Shell, War as the Soldier Saw It, Camp, March, and Picket, Battlefield, and Bivouac. How do you say that word? Bivouac, I don't know. Prison and Hospital by George F. Williams, illustrated, circa 1892. Nicely illustrated Civil War book. Oh, I think these are all Civil War books. You haven't caught the pattern. Very nice wrapping of these books. I appreciate that. The Story of My Life, Sunshine and Shadow of 75 Years by Mary Livermore. I think this is related to New York history, maybe. The Story of My Life, or Sunshine and Shadow of 70 Years by Mary A. Livermore, a narrative of her early life and struggles for education, 3 years experiences on a southern plantation among white masters and black slaves, her courtship, marriage, domestic life, etc. Illustrated, 1897. Give it a quick flip through on that one. What a great seller. They did a good job wrapping these. The Boys of 1861 by Charles Carlton Coffin. Wow, that is a nice clean copy. I may put this one in the bookstore. So if you don't see it on eBay, you'll have to come to Marshfield to buy it. The Boys of 1861 are 4 years of fighting, a record of personal observations with the Army and Navy. From the First Battle of Bull Run to the Fall of Richmond by Charles Carlton Coffin, illustrated, 1881. Lots of nice, great illustrations in this one. And it looks like some battle maps as well. That's a nice, clean copy. I've sold plenty of those in the past, but usually they're a little beat up. And again, thank you to the sellers for packaging these so nicely. Thank you to all the sellers today. I think they all did a really excellent job. Lectures on the American Civil War, delivered in Oxford. Delivered before the University of Oxford in Easter and Trinity terms, 1912, by James Ford Rhodes, published in 1913. On General Thomas's Staff by Brian A. Dunn, 1902. This is part of the Young Kentuckian series. Looks like you got a frontispiece of General Thomas himself on his horse. Looks like there's several illustrations in that one. Again, keep an eye on my eBay if you're interested in any of these. eBay seller, Animal at 52. I'm going to post this video right away today when I make it, so, yeah. John Sherman's Recollections of 40 Years in the House, Senate, and Cabinet. That's volume 2. Let's see. Oh, that doesn't fit up. I guess I just got volume 2 of that one. Freedom Triumphant by Charles Carlton Coffin. I think this is the 4th of his Civil War books. The 4th period of the War of the Rebellion from September 1864 to its close. Illustrated 1891. Nice illustrated. Tons of illustrations and maps in these books. Highly illustrated. And finally, the Blue Coats. I would put this one in the bookstore, but I already have a nice copy at the bookstore. The Blue Coats and How They Lived, Fought, and Died for the Union, with scenes and incidents in the Great Rebellion, by Captain John Truesdale, 1867. Oh, there we go. Let's see what that illustration is. Looks like generals of the Civil War, but there's no caption on that one, so it's kind of a mystery. I'm not smart enough to... General McPherson, General Wadsworth, Kearney, Sedgwick, Reynolds, Sumner, Reno, Mitchell, Birney, and Lyon. Lyon, I think, was a Confederate. The other ones I don't recognize their names. Let's see, looks like we got some more. Kilpatrick, Burford, Sheridan, Merritt, Torbert, Custer, Avril. I think Kilpatrick, was he a Confederate? But then Sheridan wasn't, so I don't know. I don't know nothing about nothing. Know a tiny bit about books, but that's about it. Thank you all for watching. I really appreciate it.